I have a serious question. Are you still sending your kids to public school? You see, you might not know this about me, but I was a public school educator for 20 years, a high school teacher. And I'm telling you, without a question of a doubt, your kids, they're being brainwashed, not just indoctrinated. They're being taught things that are untrue, literally just straight up lies. And I'm going to use some of these to prove it to you. But before I do, let me first tell you my previous thoughts on homeschooling children. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought you would be sheltered and not have any sort of real life experience. My department chair homeschooled all his kids, and I thought it was so goofy for so long. And then I met his kids. I coached one, in fact, for an entire summer. And what I found was he was the kindest, most respectful, well-adjusted, intelligent student I had really ever been around. He was so knowledgeable about real things and humble and down to earth that it started to take my guard down against homeschooling. And then fast forward a few years and you wake up and you realize that everything being taught in the public schools is literal brainwashing, like I said, but not just the subjects, the entire atmosphere of the school. Before I left, because I couldn't handle being part of a system that was brainwashing kids anymore, they were putting tampons in the boys' bathroom, and not the gender neutral bathrooms, the boys' bathroom. And they're being taught all sorts of crazy things in their health classes about how it's normal to question your sexual identity. It's okay if you are a boy and you want to be a girl. Like I said, I'm not going to just tell you that they're brainwashing your kids. I'm going to prove it to you. I want you to think about this. 66, funny number, million years ago, they tell us the dinosaurs were wiped off the earth. Yet we find all sorts of dinosaur bones all over the place, evidence of dinosaurs. Well, if that's true, then how come no one's ever finding any half-breed, half-evolved rhino? Or where's the giraffe with half as tall of a neck? Or any of these animals? They've never found any sort of animal that is half-evolved. It's evolution. And they're programming your sons and daughters to believe it, so they don't believe in the Most High. Because if you can brainwash an entire population to believe that they evolved from tadpoles that evolved to frogs that jumped out of a pond and became fish monkeys and started swinging on trees and turned into cavemen and turned into men, and that they're living on a spinning ball in endless space and insignificant, well, then you can make them think that you're not in a spiritual world created by a spiritual heavenly Father. And when you think you're unimportant and insignificant, well, then you're a lot easier to control. You think you need to listen to the laws of man instead of the laws of the Heavenly Father. You see, it's all a lie. All of it. From gravity, there's no such thing as gravity. There's no one standing on the other side of the earth upside down from you. No, there's buoyancy and density, and there's electrostatics where we're positively charged beings and the earth is a big old grounding station and it holds you to it. If you take a breath in a pool and you float more, it's because you made yourself more buoyant, not because gravity is changing. So like I said in the beginning, are you still sending your kids to public school? If you can avoid that, if you can, by any means possible, teach them yourselves and teach them real important things, like how to garden and how to think critically for themselves. Well, my friends, you owe it to those kids of yours to do it. Oh, and speaking of thinking critically, do you know how they taught students at the high school I taught at, Grayslake North High School in Illinois? Well, they would have the end product and they would say, you need to figure out how to get here. Don't question how to get here, or if here is truth, but just get here. And as long as you can figure out how to get to end product, A+, friends. No, question things, because maybe end product is a big fat lie. Of course, all this for entertainment purposes. I don't really care if you homeschool your kids and they grow up to be brainwashed thinking they're evolved chimps spinning on a ball in endless space. Entertainment only. Have a lovely day.